Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually out in the wild and we're out of the studio at long last in a sunny day in Scotland. If you've lived in Scotland for the last 3 weeks, it has been raining constantly, so it's really nice to get outside and actually celebrate what the fresh air feels like again. Today we're at a house in Perthshire and we're talking about air-to-air heat pumps. We've got a couple behind me here that we've installed, but this house here has actually had a full air-to-air system installed, which basically replaces the entire gas boiler apart from the hot water. This customer moved from the Middle East where they're used to having air conditioning, air purification, and just general household comfort in that kind of environment. So when they moved to Scotland, they wanted something similar, which is why they came to us. This system has been installed for a while now, so what we're going to do is cover exactly what air-to-air is, how it might benefit you, and why I think it's the next home comfort that you need to think about this summer. Air-to-air heat pumps are one of the most misunderstood heating technologies in the UK. For decades, British homes have been designed around boilers and radiators. Heating has meant hot water circulating through pipework into metal panels fixed to walls. So when homeowners see a wall-mounted indoor unit quietly blowing warm air, the immediate assumption is that it's simply air conditioning, but it simply isn't. Air-to-air systems are full heat pumps, and they heat homes in a completely different way. A heat pump does not create heat in the way a gas boiler burns fuel. It does not convert electricity directly into heat like a panel heater either. Instead, it moves heat. Even when it feels cold outside, there is still thermal energy in the air. Absolute zero is minus 273 degrees Celsius. That means even at 0 degrees, usable energy still exists. A heat pump doesn't generate heat by burning fuel like a gas boiler, and it doesn't simply turn electricity into warmth like a panel or plug-in heater. Instead, it moves heat. Even when the outside air feels cold, it still contains thermal energy. Absolute zero is minus 273 degrees Celsius. At this point, the thermal motion completely stops. So at 0 degrees or even below, there is still usable heat energy in the air. A heat pump's job is to capture that energy, concentrate it, and deliver it into your home. An air-to-air system extracts low-grade heat and upgrades it using compression. When gas is compressed, its temperature rises. This is basic thermodynamics, and it's the same reason a bicycle pump becomes warm when it's used. Heat pumps harness this effect in a controlled, continuous cycle. Inside the air-to-air system is a sealed refrigeration circuit. The refrigerant absorbs heat from the outdoor unit and evaporates into a gas. That gas is then compressed, sharply increasing the temperature. The system then transfers that heat indoor via a heat exchanger and controlled quiet fan system. Once heat is delivered into the room air, the refrigerant cools, condenses, and returns outside to repeat the cycle again and again, delivering more heat energy than electricity to run the system. This allows efficiencies of 300 to 400%. For every 1 kilowatt of electricity used, 3 to 4 kilowatt of heat can be delivered because the system moves heat rather than generating new heat. Air-to-air systems respond quickly because they heat air directly. You feel warmth within minutes, and in summer, the system reverses using a reversing valve, providing cooling, otherwise known as air conditioning as standard. This dual functionality makes air-to-air uniquely flexible in a changing UK climate. When most UK homeowners hear heat pump, they think of air-to-water systems. Air-to-water systems extract heat from the outside and transfer it into water. That feeds radiators, underfloor heating, and usually a hot water cylinder. Air-to-air systems extract heat from the outside and transfer it directly into the indoor air. The physics outside is identical. The difference lies in distribution indoors. Air-to-water systems are excellent for full boiler replacement scenarios. They integrate domestic hot water production and maintain familiar radiator-based heating. They suit larger homes undergoing renovation or deep retrofit. However, air-to-water often requires radiator upgrades due to lower operating flow temperatures. It may require cylinder installation, pipework alterations, and additional plant space. Installation is therefore more infrastructure and disruption heavy around the home. Air-to-air systems avoid waterside complexity entirely. There is no cylinder, no wet plumbing integration, no radiator resizing. You install an outdoor unit, indoor units, refrigerant pipework, and electrical supply, and that's it. Multi-split systems like the Daikin Multi Plus allow multiple indoor units connected to one outdoor unit. Each room can be independently controlled for its temperature. The Daikin Multiplus uniquely can also be paired to a hot water cylinder, making it one of the only air-to-air systems that can heat a hot water tank too. This level of zoning flexibility is difficult to replicate with traditional wet systems without complex zoning and fabric upgrades. Air-to-air also includes cooling, otherwise known as air conditioning, as standard, something most UK air-to-water systems do not provide without additional design considerations. Neither system is universally better than the other. They're there to solve completely different problems. Air-to-air systems truly excel in specific types of properties and specific energy usage patterns. The system excels best in homes that are currently using direct electric heating, have a high heat loss, or large homes where only a few rooms are used most of the year. Panel heaters and storage heaters operate at 100% efficiency, meaning 1 kilowatt in equals 1 kilowatt out. Meanwhile, an air-to-air system operating at a COP, or seasonal coefficient of performance, of 3.5 means 1 kilowatt in delivers 3.5 kilowatts out. That fundamentally changes your home's running cost dynamics. For electrically heated flats or apartments without gas access, this can transform running costs from a financial pressure into something far more manageable. Air-to-air is also extremely effective in properties using oil or LPG. These fuels can be volatile in price and require large storage tanks. Air-to-air eliminates fuel deliveries entirely and simplifies the infrastructure. Another area where air-to-air shines is a partial retrofit. If a homeowner adds, say, an extension, converts a garage, extending wet system areas can be expensive and disruptive. An air-to-air unit can independently heat and cool that new space without modifying the original system at all. Another area where air-to-air systems make even more sense are garden rooms and home offices. These spaces are often used intermittently for a few hours at a time rather than the full day. Traditional central heating to heat these spaces is inefficient for rooms only occupied for part of the day. Air-to-air systems, by contrast, provide rapid heat up, precise control, and heat only when needed, aligning far better with those rooms how they're actually used. To summarise the benefits of an air-to-air system, the zoning capability is transformational. Each indoor unit can be independently controlled. Bedrooms can run cooler than living areas. Unused rooms can remain off entirely, and this granular control reduces wasted energy. Air-to-air is also future focused. As our summers are getting warmer, room cooling or aircon is becoming a requirement to ensure a good quality of living. Most traditional heating spaces provide no cooling option. Air-to-air provides both in one integrated solution, both for heating and for cooling. In smaller, well-insulated properties, air-to-air can often act as primary heating without the need for large infrastructure upgrades. Suitability is not about square footage alone. It is about occupancy patterns, insulation levels, and homeowner expectations around comfort and the controllability. One of the most overlooked benefits of air-to-air systems is that they don't just control temperature, they also improve indoor air quality. Traditional heating systems warm the home, but they do nothing to clean the air circulating within it. Dust, pollen, and airborne particles continue to build up, particularly in modern homes that are becoming increasingly airtight. Air-to-air heat pumps continuously circulate and filter indoor air as part of normal operation. This means that every time the system heats or cools a room, it is also passing the air through integrated filtration. Modern systems use multi-stage filters designed to capture dust and fine particles, pollen and seasonal allergens, and airborne pollutants. For households affected by hay fever, asthma, or indoor allergies, this can make a noticeable difference in the day-to-day comfort. Rather than simply heating stale air, the system is constantly refreshing and conditioning it. This transforms the system from a simple heating appliance into a year-round indoor environment controller. The result is not just a home that feels warmer or cooler, but one that feels fresher, cleaner, and just more comfortable to live in generally. In tightly insulated modern homes, where windows are opened less frequently, this added air management becomes increasingly valuable. Air-to-air heat pump systems therefore contribute not only to energy efficiency, but to indoor well-being, because ultimately, comfort is not only about temperature, it is about the quality of the air that we all breathe. One of the most compelling aspects of air-to-air systems is how simple the installation is. A typical install consists of the following: an outdoor condenser unit, one or more wall-mounted indoor units, refrigerant pipework connecting them, condensate drainage, and an electrical connection. Installation begins with positioning the outdoor unit. This may be wall-mounted or ground-mounted depending on the space. A small core hole is drilled through the external wall to route insulated refrigerant pipework to the location of the indoor unit or indoor units. Indoor units are mounted high on internal walls to optimize airflow distribution. They can also be mounted at floor level just above a skirt. Pipework is concealed where possible and neatly trunked externally if required. Unlike wet systems, there is no need to drain the pipework, upgrade radiators, or install cylinders. No lifting of floors is typically required and disruption is kept at a minimum. A single room installation, one outdoor unit to one indoor unit, can usually be completed within one working day. Multi-rooms, so more than one indoor unit, systems can require 1 to 2 days depending on the layout, complexity and volume of work. Commissioning involves pressure testing, refrigerant balancing and adding where necessary, electrical safety checks and performance verification. Modern Daikin systems, which is what we use, are engineered for low noise. Outdoor units operate at sound levels comparable to a normal conversation or less. Indoor units modulate fan speed based upon demand, meaning they go up and down in RPM. This means they become almost silent once the target temperature is achieved and just trickle the heat or cold air in. From a retrofit perspective, air-to-air is one of the least invasive electrification pathways available in the market today. Next, which I'm sure everyone is asking, is running costs. So in true Hollywood style, the iPad just died. I think it's the cold weather, so I've lost my teleprompter, I've lost my entire script. But what we'll do is I'll show you during the install and then I'll wrap it up in the studio to give you the final bits of information regarding the running cost and the installation, all those kind of things. So this is a Daikin unit we've installed on this house. This has 3 indoor units attached to it, which means this one outdoor unit is powering 3 different rooms or 3 different indoor units. It has a cooling pipe here. So this takes the condensate out one of the rooms, which is just on the other side of this wall. There's the trunking here, which houses all the refrigerant pipework, which just comes out of the unit over here. So you can see all the pipes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pipes. So you've got 2 pipes per indoor unit, 1 gas, 1 liquid pipe. This is the other unit that we have installed on here. We've got another one around the other side, which I'll show you. This is a 2MX. It's a smaller unit here. Still again on the rubber feet on the gravel. This is supplying 2 different rooms, and again the pipework comes out of the trunking just up there, and just behind us here we've got the coolant line here, so that brings the condensate out from the room, which is neatly hidden away in this little trunking. This is the 3rd unit we've got on the house, so this is the 3rd outdoor unit. This is only a single split, so it only goes to 1 indoor unit. It is actually on the wall though, this occasion. It's actually mounted on a bracket, you can see here on this harling wall. But again, we've got the trunking coming down, the condensate drain just down below here. But it looks quite neat on the wall here and tucked away in the corner. I'll put some B-roll over the top of this so you can see what it looks like. Next, we're going to talk about running costs. Running costs depend on electricity tariffs, property insulation, and user behaviour. The key metric is coefficient of performance, or COP. If a system delivers a COP of 3.5, it delivers 3.5 units of heat for every unit of electricity consumed. Consider a room requiring 3 kilowatt of heat input. A panel heater requires 3 kilowatt of electricity input. An air-to-air system may require roughly 0.9 to 1 kilowatt input to produce the same thermal output. Over an entire heating season, that difference compounds significantly. In other words, the comparison shifts from costs per unit of heat to how intelligently that heat can be delivered and controlled. Behaviour also plays a major role, because air-to-air heat pump systems heat rooms individually. Users tend to operate them only when needed. This behavioural efficiency can outperform central heating systems that heat entire properties regardless of occupancy or property size. The system's smart controls also allow scheduling and remote management from its smartphone app. In terms of installation costs, a single-room Daikin air-to-air system typically starts from around about £1,800. This provides both heating and cooling capability, provided the indoor unit is on an external wall. Multi-room systems scale according to number of indoor units, pipe length run, electrical requirements, and mounting complexity. Compared to air-to-water retrofits, which may require radiator upgrades, cylinder installation, plumbing labour, and a design consultation, air-to-air presents a much lower entry cost. It also allows staged investment. Homeowners can install one room initially and expand later via multi-split configurations. Cost must always be considered alongside suitability. Air-to-air does not always produce domestic hot water. A separate hot water solution may be required unless you opt for something like the Daikin MultiPlus. However, for properties where hot water provision is already independent, air-to-air can represent a highly efficient heating upgrade without major structural change. This value proposition includes high efficiency, integrated cooling, zoning flexibility, rapid response, minimal disruption, and scalable installation across many years. In the right property context, air-to-air is one of the most practical and cost-effective electrification routes available today. Thanks so much for watching. If you've got any air-to-air queries or you want to learn more about what we can offer, get in touch with our team today, and we'll see you in the next one.